Ever wondered what would happen if you jumped out of an airplane into the sea without a parachute? Well, buckle up, because we're about to embark on an imaginary daredevil stunt that'll make your heart race. First, let's paint the picture. You're soaring high up in the sky in an airplane. The clouds are mere puffs of cotton candy beneath you, and the vast expanse of the ocean stretches out as far as the eye can see. Suddenly, you decide to take the plunge. Literally. No parachute on your back, just you and the open sky. So, what happens next? Well, a few things come into play here. The height from which you're jumping, your body's orientation during the fall, and the surface you're landing on. Jumping out of an airplane without a parachute is, needless to say, extremely risky. The potential for injury or worse is incredibly high. As you free fall, the force of the wind against your body is intense. The adrenaline rush is unimaginable, but so is the danger. Now, if you're thinking that landing in the water might be a softer alternative to landing on solid ground, think again. From such a high altitude, hitting the water surface can be just as unforgiving as hitting concrete. This is because water doesn't compress under pressure, and at high speeds it doesn't have enough time to move out of the way. The physics behind the fall are quite complex. When you're free falling, your body accelerates due to gravity, reaching terminal velocity, which is the fastest speed you can fall at. Depending on your body's position, this could be anywhere between 120 to 200 miles per hour. That's faster than most sports cars. But before you even consider this, let's delve into the factors at play when free falling from an airplane. Hold on tight, because we're about to take a deep dive into the physics of free fall. The thrill of jumping out of an airplane is not just about guts, it's a physics problem. Yes, you heard it right. It's all about physics. When you free fall, you encounter two forces: gravity pulling you down and air resistance pushing you up. The balance of these forces is what determines your terminal velocity. Let's break it down a bit. Gravity, as we all know, is the force that pulls everything towards the center of the Earth. It's relentless, constant, and it's the reason you're accelerating towards the ground once you jump out of that plane. Initially, gravity has the upper hand, making you go faster and faster. However, as your speed increases, so does the air resistance. This is the force that the air exerts on you as you hurtle through it. It's like trying to run through a pool of water. The faster you try to go, the harder it pushes back. Eventually, you'll reach a point where the force of the air resistance equals the force of gravity. When these two forces balance out, you stop accelerating and maintain a constant speed. This is what we call terminal velocity. For a skydiver in the belly-to-earth position, terminal velocity is about 120 miles per hour. Now imagine hitting the surface of the water at that speed. It would be like smashing into a wall of concrete. The human body is simply not designed to withstand that kind of impact. This is where the physics of freefall gets a little scary. At these speeds, the water won't have time to move out of the way. It'll act more like a solid than a liquid. The impact could cause severe injuries or even be fatal. So, you've reached terminal velocity and you're headed straight for the ocean. What happens next? Well, that's a story for the next scene. But just remember, when you're free falling from an airplane, you're not just falling, you're solving a physics problem. Hitting the water at terminal velocity might not be as forgiving as you think. It's an adrenaline-pumping daredevil's dream, but the reality might be a harsh wake-up call. Let's delve into the nitty-gritty of what happens when you take the plunge. Imagine you're dropping from the sky, free falling at breakneck speed. The water below looks inviting, a soft cushion to break your fall. But that's where the illusion shatters. At such high speeds, water isn't your friendly neighborhood swimming pool. It's more akin to concrete. Yes, you heard it right. Hitting water at terminal velocity is almost like slamming into a wall of concrete. How so? Well, water is incompressible. When you hit it at high speed, it doesn't have enough time to move out of the way. The result? A brutal, bone-crushing impact. The potential injuries are severe and could range from broken bones to internal organ damage. The sudden deceleration might cause your brain to slam against the skull, leading to traumatic brain injury. Not to mention, the immense pressure could rupture your lungs and push the air up, causing a potentially fatal air embolism. But let's say you're the luckiest daredevil out there, and you survive the impact. What's next? Well, you're now in the middle of the ocean, possibly injured, and definitely disoriented. Your immediate challenges are to remain afloat, maintain body temperature, and find a way to signal for help. Survival in the open sea is a whole new ballgame. Hypothermia could set in as the cold water saps your body heat. You'd need to stay calm and use energy conservatively. Remember, panic is your worst enemy in such situations, and then there's the question of attracting attention. You're a tiny speck in the vast ocean. How do you make yourself visible to potential rescuers? It's a daunting task, to say the least. Surviving the impact is just half the battle. Now you're in the middle of the ocean. What's next? You've survived the fall. You're now floating in the vast ocean. What now? Well, it's one thing to have conquered the skies, but now you're in a whole new realm, the sea. And it has its own set of challenges. First and foremost, you need to keep yourself afloat. You'd want to conserve your energy as much as possible, so tread water only when necessary and float on your back when you can. There's a myriad of risks in the ocean, one of them being hypothermia. Even in warmer waters, prolonged exposure can lead to a dangerous drop in your body temperature. To prevent this, try to keep as much of your body out of the water as possible. Then there's dehydration. It's an ironic twist of fate to be surrounded by water, yet not a drop to drink. Drinking seawater is a no-go. Its salt content is far too high and would only dehydrate you more. Rainwater, if you're fortunate enough to experience a downpour, could be a lifesaver. You're also sharing the sea with marine life. While the majority are harmless, there's always the risk of encountering less friendly creatures like sharks or jellyfish. Staying calm and avoiding sudden movements can help deter these animals. Now let's talk about rescue. It's crucial to find a way to signal for help. During the day, creating a water disturbance or laying out a contrasting object can attract attention from the air. At night, a light source or even a simple reflective object can be seen from miles away. Remember, survival in the ocean is about endurance and resourcefulness. It's about making the most of your surroundings while constantly being aware of the dangers that lurk beneath the waves. So jumping out of an airplane into the sea without a parachute, it's not just a daring feat. It's a battle with physics, your body's limits, and nature itself.